So you walk into a room and someone is blaspheming Jesus. What would you do? Well, I can tell you what Santa would do. He would slap him. So we have a tradition in our house. We read this every year. It's called The Story of St. Nicholas. It is a publication by Voice of the Martyrs. They do a number of books. We really like them. They've got St. Valentine, St. Patrick, St. Nicholas. They also have a number of non-holiday saints that they talk about in different martyrs through the years and just their stories and testimonies. And it's a great way, in my opinion, to introduce the kids to the history of the church, to introduce them to the concept of martyrdom. One of the things being in a time and a geography that we don't get a lot of persecution, I think that it's something that we forget to prepare our children for. And as time progresses, who knows? They may be called to stand for their faith in ways that we haven't had to up to this point in our lifetime. So this book has a number of lessons that I go through with the kids. It's got, of course, lessons on generosity, connected to Santa Claus. St. Nick is generous. He's giving away money. He's an orphan. He's inherited all of this wealth from his parents, and he finds ways to be generous with the physical wealth that God has given him. He goes to the Holy Land. He has this experience with Christ, and he gives his life over to the Lord and starts to pursue just a miraculous life, really, and ends up being a bishop, goes through all these things. He stands against the government at that point, who has made Scripture illegal. They're burning it, they're imprisoning people. He goes to jail. He refuses to disown Christ or to dishonor Christ. He refuses to bend a knee in that way, stays in prison. Constantine becomes emperor, gets out of prison. My wife's favorite part of the book, and very popular with the children, is the moment when St. Nick is going in this discussion with a bunch of church leaders. He's a bishop at that time, and Arius has put forth heresy and is continually putting forth this heresy that Jesus was created. He was a created being, that he didn't exist from the beginning of the world, that he wasn't part of the Trinity, he wasn't God. And St. Nicholas was not very happy about that. So Arius actually made a song, and they were singing it loudly in this meeting, and St. Nick decided to slap the heretic in the face, which is great. Again, kids love it. And teaches boldness, right? He was actually removed from his position because even though a Christian is supposed to be bold for the faith, they decided that he was a little bit too bold and violent in that way. And, it allows for a great discussion. It's like, what does it mean to be bold for the Lord? What does it mean to stand for the Lord? And then where can, we take vengeance into our own hand instead of allow the Lord to have vengeance? And you might have different opinions on that than I do. We will leave each other to the conviction of the Spirit, as Romans 14 would say. I think the most important lesson that our kids get from this, though, is perseverance of the faith. There are so many, even today, martyrs for the faith. There are so many countries in the world that the Bible is illegal. I mean, if you go to a number of countries in the Middle East right now and have a Bible with you, you can be arrested, even as a foreigner, even as a U.S. citizen. There are things that we need to be able to communicate to our children so that they understand that their experience with the faith, the privilege and the protection that we have here in the United States is not to be taken for granted. And that's something that we get to do by reading these stories with them and exposing them to the very real history that God often advances the kingdom through men and women taking a stand for their faith in the face of strong persecution, and by paying for that with extreme discomfort, sometimes even death. Start a tradition in your house. Pick up some of these books. You're not only creating a great memory, they've got great art. You guys can kind of see some of the insides here. And the art is great. The stories are very simple. And you can not only be providing a great lesson for your kids, but also supporting a great ministry. Hopefully you guys liked that. We always appreciate when you like, subscribe, share, and send this off to people that you know. We see our audience growing by leaps and bounds each week, and we really appreciate all of you tuning in each week to hear what we have to say about the digital world around us. God bless you guys, and we'll talk to you in the next video.